When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world.
I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin. I'm here with Kotobuki Jake.
Right.
And we're here to get you informed about what's coming out and who's going away.
Yes.
So, for that matter, we're going to start with the negative, I guess you could say. And these are the individuals.
Look at it as a positive. It is a tribute.
True.
Yes.
These individuals have left us this week. Take a look.
She was living on couches that belonged to her friends. She would sleep with her feet in her shins hanging over the ends, looking over her shoulder, never knowing herself. I believe she could never fit in till somebody new came along.
Well, I hope that you got some people that you recognized in that. There's only one of note that I wanted to talk about, and that's Patrick Williams. He died at age 79 of cancer. He's most notable for the music. He composed music for Mary Tyler Moore. And I really loved that show growing up. It has some iconic music to it.
Was he involved in the opening theme, or just more like the music?
That's more the background music, but still, it's still fairly iconic. I can listen to that. I know what I'm hearing if I'm hearing that music. I used to grow up listening to that, watching Mary Tyler Moore when I was young. I loved Nick at Night. My father got a satellite dish when I was in my early teens, and Nickelodeon was on it, and I got hooked on Nickelodeon, and especially Nick at Night. I was a strange teen. I like Nick at Night, but that's all I have for that. Do you have any?
Well, your other credits you've noted here: Breaking Away, which I came this close to seeing once, and Crybaby, which of course was a very strange, notable John Waters film that is notable as one of
Johnny Depp.
one of Johnny Depp's first movies. Not like first, but it was like, I think it was right before Edward Scissorhands, but it was right when he was starting to step away from 21 Jump Street. And it was like those two movies kind of were his foray into post-Jump Street movie stardom. But it's a very strange movie. Of course, most John Waters films are. All right, so I guess next up we're moving on to what's coming out in theaters.
Yep, we're going to see what's coming out in movie
Yep.
theater, hopefully. There are some interesting ones.
Yep.
You've got more to talk about than I do, even though there's one that definitely hits both of us.
Yep.
But one I want to talk about is one I'm not so big on, but let's talk politics briefly. I'm not going to talk about my side of the aisle, but I wanted to throw out Death of a Nation. This is the same people
Just
that
throw
put
it
out that movie about Hillary somewhat before the election. Propaganda piece. But it's sort of like how any of these are. If you're on one side, you're going to see it as purely propaganda. The other side, you're going to say, yes, this is facts. Everybody needs to see this. And it basically compares Donald Trump to Abraham Lincoln and his struggles being similar to those in the Civil War.
There's a big difference between being part of the Civil War and causing one.
Well,
Okay.
I'm trying not to comment too much. We have some people who are conservative watch the channel,
Okay.
But if you like Donald Trump and you are a big fan, definitely watch this. If you don't like it, your friends who like Donald Trump may say you need to watch this. But a tip to those of you who are conservative: don't try and get people to Don't try and get people who are not conservative to watch this. You'll get probably some enjoyment out of it. But that's like me trying to get you to watch Fahrenheit 9/11 or Sicko or any other Michael Moore film. It just, isn't going to make
or
anything other than
what's the new
just
one
have
he's
them
working
mad.
on? Is it Fahrenheit 11/9, right? No, I'm serious. He's got a new one coming up. Anyway, we to step away from the idea of politics for a minute, we've got The Spy Who Dumped Me. Actually, probably this week's primary popcorn escapist flick. Stars Mila Kunis and
Melissa McCarthy, isn't it?
No, I think it's Kate McKinnon.
What's the movie with Melissa McCarthy? That was...
Well, you've got a Blu-ray release this week.
Oh,
with
it's
Melissa
okay.
But no, her Ghostbusters co-star Kate McKinnon and Mila Kunis. And I have to admit, Kate McKinnon and Mila Kunis, if the movie's any good, it's going to be a fun movie. But that's a big if for a movie that comes out in August. That's, let's just be honest. August traditionally has been a waste station for movies, but there actually are a couple here that are not, and I know they're not. But other than Spy Who Dumped Me, the other big one this week is Christopher Robin, which is strangely the second Christopher Robin movie in less than a year.
They come in pairs.
Goodbye, Christopher Robin was very interesting. My understanding of this is that it focuses on a grown-up Christopher Robin. Ewan McGregor, of course, is the main character. And I don't really... apparently, like, the various individuals, the various stuffed animal companions from this series come to life to help him out or something. I saw the trailer, but I don't remember the full gist of it. It looks interesting. It looks good, and I'm fascinated by the idea that there are 2 Christopher Robin movies.
Yeah.
I want to see it. Both of these movies I want to see, but I'll probably wait until I can check them out from the library.
You could probably make that like a sort of a sequel to the original, because the original was starring the father, and then you get this.
Yeah, in a sense. And Khalees really wants to be in the video, apparently.
They got cats and dogs.
But
here.
then, speaking of movies about the rather conservative side of things, when I went to see Won't You Be My Neighbor, we saw an interesting hodgepodge of trailers beforehand. And one of them was for a movie that's coming out this week that I actually really am very curious about and very interested in. It's an art house film. It may not be coming to a theater near you, but if you're in one of the big markets, it will be. It's a movie called 8th Grade, and it's gotten some really great critical buzz, and it stars Aaron Eckhart as the father of an 8th grader. And the movie, as my understanding, is that she pretty much, it's kind of a, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be sort of like a slice of life or more of a full-blown coming-of-age story, but it's all about the trials and tribulations of being in the 8th grade. And it does look interesting. It looks really good. And then the one we both really want to see that we're not going to get to see, if you're lucky, there is a Fathom event coming out this week that's going to be awesome. And
I got one.
What's up?
I got a prop.
Oh, you got a prop. All right. So by the time this video comes out, you've missed the first part of this, which was last week, which we missed. I'm very annoyed. But we do have Sailor Moon Super S coming out in the limited Fathom screening. They did a double bill of R and S, and I really wanted to go, and I didn't get to go. I probably won't get to see Super S, and I kind of don't want to skip that far ahead in the story.
Well, you know what that means, though. The physical release of this on the re-release is not far behind.
Let's hope. Now, they haven't gotten to that one yet?
Nope.
No, wait, Super S just came out. The series just came out, right?
Yeah, we
so
just got
the
part
movie's
2.
coming soon. But yeah, so if you, we mentioned before, these Fathom events, they're doing a pretty good job of bringing anime to us. It's just, it's such limited amounts.
Oh, yeah.
I also missed the limited screening last week of Princess Mononoke, and I really wanted to go to that. But they are doing a Ghibli Fest where there's a Ghibli film each month. I still have, 4 more opportunities to go?
And when is that one with that Goodbye Girl, whatever it was?
Night is Sharp, Walk On Girl. That's coming up soon. And that's an actual recent release that's getting tons of buzz. And it doesn't look anything like an anime, so it might actually have a shot at Oscar love this year.
Well, his style, I mean, if you've seen Devilman Crybaby, and if you haven't, you can go to Netflix, check it out. But it has a very kind of early Walt Disney cartoony look to it.
Which is extremely disturbing, given the reputation of that series.
I associate it more with Puella Magica, Madoka Magica. Because it.
But that's more anime-like.
Yeah, but the monsters, they did more in that weird cartoony style.
All right, so are we moving on to physical releases? Okay.
So here's what's going to come to a store near you. So
in most cases, some of them you'll have to order online.
We'll just alternate again. I'll start since you ended, and you can end again. I've got 3. I didn't think about it. Fresh off of her Oscar-worthy performance in Ghostbusters, Melissa McCarthy is back in Life of the Party, which, from what people have told me, is a sort of back-to-school type ripoff. If you've seen Back to School, it was actually one of the funnier movies I'd seen with Rodney Dangerfield. It was right up there with Caddyshack, which I love that film.
Well, we're less than 5 years away from a Rodney Dangerfield biopic with Melissa McCarthy playing him.
The other 2, one I have only a little mention, the other I have my longest mention.
Okay.
The first of it, Predator is getting the 4K treatment because we are getting psyched for the new Predator movie. Well,
oh yeah, there isn't one.
I'm not super psyched for it. I would like to see it. So if one of you wants to send me a ticket to go see it, I will make sure to find time to see it. Otherwise, I probably will wait for it to come out on Blu-ray. I do have the 3 Predator films on Blu-ray, and though I have a 4K TV, I do not have a 4K player. And I don't want to shell out the money for one just yet. So, I can wait. Now, the other thing is, what's the word? It's the first of a couple. The Death of Superman. I don't know if you've seen the original one. They tried to animate this Death of Superman thing where they made it look like there was a gay relationship between Lex Luthor and Superman, which there may be, actually. But
so this is the the other ambiguously gay duo? Is that the?
Well, the authors of this have stated that they're trying to go for the novelization, which I have not read in a long time. I'm very familiar with the comics. I have the run of comics that led up to the Death of Superman. I think I have the Reign of the Superman comics. I got rid of the Funeral for a Friend, and I'm kicking myself for that. But I do have them on my Kindle. It's a good story. It's back in the 90s. We thought it was really special that we got to see Superman die. We had the black armbands for the Death of Superman. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember going that far with it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the news had a lot of things. Like, they actually had... It was a big thing.
Yeah.
Even though Superman had died like 3 or 4 times before that.
And I think he's died a couple times since then.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
But,
comics.
He's still not Jean Grey.
No. Nowhere close.
But what they're planning on doing is, I don't know if there's going to be 1 or 2 sequels to this, but I think it's going to be a 3-part series. Death of Superman, Reign of the Superman, which is where the Pretenders come back, Eradicator, Visor Superman, Cyborg, Superboy, and Steel, which was a terrible movie. And
I never did see that, but I got to one of these days.
and then I think the end would be Rise of Superman, which shows his return back to life. It was a very well-written comic series. If you haven't read it, you can pick it up pretty cheaply. It's like $14 per graphic novelization, and that's a lot of comics per. Just watching the fight between Superman and Doomsday is epic. It really is. The first time around, it is truly epic. It's also the things that led to certain aspects of the plot, like Green Lantern going insane, and Kyle Reiner taking the ring, and this whole Parallax stuff that started in this story, in the Reign of the Superman storyline. So I'm not going to ruin it any more than I already have a little bit, but it's an old story. I would check it out in the comics, but if you're planning on watching this, you might not want to reread the comics, just because. I mean, I actually got some comics downloaded, even Batman, Dark Knight stuff.
Cool.
All right, go for it.
All right. So, speaking of the 90s and things that are special, we have a major re-release this week. The complete series of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Which I'm sure for anyone who was young in the 90s, you probably remember watching that show and thinking back then how cheesy it was. But it was fun. It was fun cheesy. I don't know if I'd be able to go back now and watch it, but I'm willing to try one of these days. I want that set. I don't know that I would pay much for it, but we will see. If you have never seen it and you like cheese, it might be worth giving it a go. And of course, if you, like us, you like nostalgic things, hopefully it'll be a good nostalgia. I don't know. Speaking of nostalgic things, we have more Gundam this week. We also have an Assassination Classroom The Movies
I'm going to leave into this. I haven't even watched the series yet.
Yeah, I've only seen a few episodes, but I loved it. But one of these days I'll get through it. Speaking of complete series, we've got a complete collection of the show Masters of Sex. I have not seen it yet. I'd like to see it one of these days. I just thought it would be an interesting one to plug there. And another show I've not seen yet that I really want to see. I really want to see Riverdale. I've heard really good things about it. It looks interesting. It's season 2 is the one that's coming out. It's supposedly really dark and strange and not at all what I would have always thought would be the product of an Archie series. But, you know. And then the final one I want to talk about is a movie that I actually had on pre-order as a cart topper. I placed an order 3 months ago? Must have been 3 months ago. I placed an order with Right Stuff, and I used a pre-order as a cart topper, so they held the whole damn order to send it all at once. And unfortunately, due to money issues, the order got scuttled. But the movie in question is a movie called Big Fish and Begonia. And it's a Chinese animated film that supposedly is gorgeous. Supposedly it's a phenomenal looking movie. It's supposed to be pretty decent. I don't really remember much about it plot-wise, but it is one that I really do want to see. I'm a little relieved the order was canceled because I didn't really want to pay $26 for it. But I would like to get hold of this one and see it, and I definitely recommend it to anyone that wants to keep up on their animation because it actually has some potential to get an Oscar nod, I think. It's definitely gotten a lot of buzz. But at any rate, that's really the ones I had something on.
Well, I guess then that's it for us this time around. I hope you enjoyed. If you like this video, click like. Mm-hmm. Of course, remember to subscribe and share. Now, let us know what it is that you liked about this time's releases.
Yeah.
If we've missed anything that you've been looking forward to, please give us a ring. I want to know, and I want to get the conversation going.
All you Digimon fans out there think we gave it short shrift, or you know, or maybe you think that we were too harsh on Melissa McCarthy, or I don't know. You know.
Well, as I said, maybe the people think there are a lot of people out there that believe that her performance in Ghostbusters was Oscar worthy, and that
Really?
she got snubbed.
A lot of people.
Well,
I think universally the reaction I've gotten was that she was the weak link in the movie.
well, more activists.
Kate McKinnon was great in the movie, but and
More-
Chris Hemsworth was awesome. He could have gotten an nod for that. All right.
So, we will see you
Yeah.
on the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.